In the middle of my interview with Taylor, she suddenly turned the tables and started asking me questions. We're including it here as a little extra bonus if you feel like listening in.
I have been wanting to ask you this because I don't think a lot of your guests actually asked you about some of the things that make you so uniquely you. And I wanted to make sure that we did that today. I went on your YouTube channel. I watched a bunch of the episodes of your podcast. I did my due diligence, and I have to say I've loved the guests you've had on.
Thank you.
And I want to flip the script on you, and then I will gladly put myself over.
Okay.
You talked in your Fightful interview about how when you first got into Impact after, going through so many different aspects of your life and being in your feelings and things not working out the way you thought. And then all of a sudden, here comes the emergence of Taylor Wilde. You had, the brand new type of knockouts division that was really putting women's wrestling back on the map. You were going up against women like Awesome Kong. You had Gail Kim, Hamada, Sarita, Nikki Rox, as Roxy Laveau, who's, by the way, one of my all-time favorite people on the planet.
Yes.
You had such amazing, unique talents and women and coming together, but you still felt like your most inauthentic self on camera. Yet you are one of the only women that can actually say that you are not only an Impact Knockouts world champion, you were also the inaugural Knockouts tag team champions, and not once, not twice, but now you are a third time Knockouts champion, tag team champion. You've had so many amazing, not just opponents, but let's be honest, like kick-ass tag team partners. Do you feel like now that you're your most authentic self now as the Coven, as Taylor Wilde in the Coven, do you think you would appreciate that as much as you do today if you had not gone through your original phases of Taylor Wilde when you did feel as inauthentic as you did? Do you feel like you would still appreciate it as much, or do you feel like you needed that version of yourself to now be the woman that you are right now? Because nobody else can say all the accolades that you actually, nobody else can be an inaugural champion of anything except the first one, and that was you. So tell me, I am dying to hear this. I've always wanted to talk to you about
it. First of all, thank you. Thank you for being so well researched, and thank you for holding space for the past, the future, and the present accomplishments I have, because like I said to you, we're always on to the next thing, and sometimes you don't take that breath to be like, damn, I've done some shit. It's about the journey. It's 100% about the journey, and I would not appreciate what I have today if it wasn't for all the challenges that I've had over the past 10, 12, 13 years. And it's also the life experience and healing the relationship with myself, one that I neglected probably my whole life up until the last 2 years. And I think that was one of the reasons I felt so inauthentic, is because I grew up in the wrestling business, my late teens, early 20s. Like, I was hired by WWE when I just turned 20. And my formative years grew up amongst people who are pretty emotionally immature. And you're trying to find out who you are, and you're also being told who you're supposed to be. And then you pick that person, and then they don't like it. And it's really hard to not take it personally, but that's not actually who you are. And you're playing all these roles. And at the end of the day, you're just lost. And I had a really, really fantastic first run. I wouldn't trade that for the world because it makes me who I am. But I really needed to step away from wrestling and have life experience as a firefighter, as a wife, twice, be a mother. And I really, really had to go on this journey to not only heal the relationship with myself, but be able to be open and transparent and share it with so many people. And it's the first time that I've actually been myself on screen that I actually feel like I really connect with the fans, where I feel like there was such a disconnect because I had really bad performance anxiety. Like, I was always the athlete, the wrestler, and I wasn't nervous about the wrestling. but I wasn't a performer. I wasn't connecting with people. And now I feel like because of being a firefighter and a mom and just all the fucks fell off somewhere, that I really, really get to be engaged with my audience and on the podcast. And even with my peers, I feel way more connected and authentic. So there's no way I could enjoy this moment as much as I am if I hadn't been through everything I'd been through previously.
I felt like, I know it's your story, but I felt like I was hearing my own. You know, you
Oh.
said you got signed when you were about 20, and I started wrestling when I was just freshly 17. I was still in high school, didn't have a car, didn't graduate yet, didn't go to prom yet, had no
Mm-hmm.
business being in it. And like you said, trying to figure out who you are, but everyone's trying to tell you who you are, uncomfortable in your own skin, and still trying to grow into not just your personality, but your body and your every
Yes.
facet of your being, of who you are at your core. So with that experiences that you just talked about in great detail, what would be advice for that you could give that you know to be 100% accurate, that you wish more people would implement in the wrestling landscape today based on all of your experiences? Because you weren't just successful then, you were also successful now, and I think that's a real amazing measuring stick. So what would you say to them?
Be your fucking self. Like, be weird. Be so, like, love who you are, love the gifts you've been given. Like, a big thing with me is I'm so thankful for every day because I know the fragility of life, from seeing it at work, from the own experiences I've had in my own life. And the happiest you are ever going to be is when you are yourself. And literally, the only thing you can control in this life is your own happiness. You can't control situations. You can't control the weather. You can't control who loves you, but you can control your own happiness. And when you just really love yourself, or at least fake it until you make it, because your words are your wand. And if you fake it for long enough, you'll start believing it. So, having a mantra or using the powers of manifestation or having a community that helps big you up, that's a big thing too, is believe in yourself, love yourself, and put positivity out into the world, because that is what will come back to you, and you will find your tribe. And like, I've hit rock bottom a few times, and I'm so thankful for it, because they always say when you crack, that's when the light gets in. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for those really dark times in my life. And I don't regret any of it, and I don't think, oh, woe is me. There's no victimization. It's just made me closer to my highest, most divine self. And like, I mean it. I'm so content.
Have you ever heard that phrase, rock bottom is the best place to build a solid foundation upon which to rebuild your life?
Yes, I love that. I got the spiritual chills when you said that. It's so true. Mic drop.
Yes, mic
There
drop.
she is.
I love that. I'll be here all week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's the Taylor Wilde, Taeler Hendrix show. We might be on to something.
I always wanted to work with you. And so that's why I was like so excited to come on your podcast. I just always wanted to be able to work with you because even though you may have felt inauthentic, watching you was really inspirational for me because I felt
Oh,
like you were different from everyone and that was so unique. So to
thank you.
me, even if it wasn't who you truly are, it was a character that you were embodying. And to me, that was
Mm,
powerful because what originally drew me to wrestling was the glitz, the glam, the characters, the writing, the acting, the athleticism, the performance, the traveling, everything. I loved everything about it. I always knew I wanted to do it. And when I saw your
yeah.
character, I was just like, oh, this is awesome. And then I watch you now
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, and this is awesome. Like, wow,
oh,
you know?
thank you.
So,
I guess it's probably not even there was some part of it that felt disingenuous because it was a different time in wrestling.
yeah.
You had the big boob blonde versus the big boobed brunette. You know what I mean? Like the good guy versus the bad guy. And I was also just just so young. It's like, it's not even that I was disingenuous. It's like I didn't know who I was. I knew who I wanted to be. I just wasn't strong enough mentally, physically, spiritually to be there. But I knew I was weird. I knew I was different. I knew I didn't fit in a box. So obviously that came through somehow. And that makes me really, really excited that you could identify with that. And that gave you life because I did something right in that.
Heck yeah. You guys were so amazing. I don't feel like you guys get enough credit, and I don't feel like you as a collective, as women, give yourselves enough credit, because that knockouts division was I don't want to sound so trendy, but it literally was absolute fire. Like you guys were all so unique. I mean, you got Roxy LeBeau, you've got Awesome Kong, you've got Taylor Wilde, Sarita, Gail Kim, the beautiful people. I mean, it was so awesome. You know, when I got signed to Impact and all of you guys were leaving, and then I'm just like, hi, Fun Girl Revolution. Like, I didn't know who I was. Like, I've openly said I was this little girl on a roster full of these beautiful, exotic, talented, experienced, amazing women. Like, and I'm just like, like, I didn't.
No, you were one of us. No. We were just all burnt out by the time you got there. And you know what? Here's the thing. We had fun. We were broke. Girl, we were so broke. But like, we had so much fun. And wrestling was just different then. So when, you know, it's just like in music, when people are usually like at the peak of their career, they don't actually have the most money in the bank, and they're usually right at their wits' end because they've been pushing for so long. And women's wrestling is in a really beautiful place now. And I'd like to believe, and I think in my heart, I know that time in TNA, what the Knockouts did, really did change the trajectory of women's wrestling. And it massively influenced where we are today. And it's one of the reasons I had to come back. So I was like, this is the Knockouts in 2007, but on steroids. There's like so much talent. There's so much diversity. There's so many characters. Just the women alone, I'm just so blessed and thankful to be a part of it. And I hate that term, like #blessed, but I'm so thankful to be a part of it, and for the health I have and for the wheels I still have left. I really feel like I'm living my best life, and I still I've got so much more I want to do for wrestling. It's not even just in the ring, but I'm so thankful. It's helped me. You know, there's a little part of me that thinks that wrestling helped save my life because it brought me back to me again. So
I love that. I love that for you. And I love that for not just women's wrestling, but also the Impact locker room. Like, I think that they are lucky to have women like yourself and like Mickey. Like, I've learned so much from both of you, whether you guys even realize it or not. And I think that the more
Mickey.
Women that actually are around that have the experiences like women like yourself, I think it makes a big difference for generations like me and the ones after me. I think that's very important because it's an intrinsic value, in my opinion, that cannot readily be calculated. That if it was gone, they would leave a spot to be filled that just couldn't be filled. Like, if that makes sense.
Well, you've left me on set. My heart is so full. You've left me on such a high note. So please put yourself over.
I will.